Hi everyone, I'm Angel M and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while but we have a lot to catch up on, so I'm going to get right into it and the purpose of this video. So many of you, it's been about a month ago, I did compete in the Miss South Carolina USA pageant, which is the preliminary pageant to Miss USA, which is currently what my friend Kyra McCullough is, and that's the previous video that I made. I know it's been so long since I've been talking to you guys, but that is the pageant that she had to go through for her state to win Miss USA. So let's get right into it. It's been about a month, so I've had time to really process everything, and I kind of slow down a little bit because up until the pageant, I still had my model troop mentoring program and also preparation for the pageant. So it kind of got kind of hectic, and I wasn't able to, or now I'm able to just, really process everything. And I want to tell you guys how I felt and, just everything pageantry. So let's get right into it. First things first is why I decided to compete. And I'm sorry, guys. Still learning to get my camera together. Okay, so why I decided to compete. Well, the biggest thing for me, of course, you guys, my friend Kyra, Miss USA, inspired me. But also, I was just reading on Instagram one day, lurking. But I was on Instagram one day and I read this quote. I was just kidding about the lurking part. But I was on Instagram and I saw this quote that said something like, "If what would you do if you knew you could not fail?" And just for some reason, just that day, it kind of, the light bulb went off in my head. Always have been, interested in pageants, or always have been fascinated as far as watching them. I never saw myself competing in one, but I always, like watching the girls on the runway, like anything that is like similar to modeling in a way. So pageants, fashion shows, that's me. That's where my interest is. And if you want to watch, sorry guys, let's get into this face beat. My friend, I just had a photo shoot earlier today. I will post a video about that later. And my friend Keisha Martina, she's on YouTube as well, really beat this face. So I thought this would be a good time to kill two birds with one stone. But anywho, let's get back to it. So always been interested in that kind of arena, that kind of area, just never saw myself competing. And again, seeing my friend Kyra, win Miss USA, and then the doors that opened for her afterwards, and just how inspirational she is to so many people, I obviously wanted that. Like, I'm such a people person, and I wanted to be able to inspire other people as well. So that is why I went ahead and decided to compete for the pageant. So let's talk about the changes that I had to make in preparation for the pageant. I guess to say the quickest thing or the most obvious thing would be I did change my eating habits. I didn't go on an official pageant diet until probably a month before, a month out. And it wasn't really a diet. I'm a spiritual person, so I fasted. So meaning I took a break from, I chose a food to take a break from, and that just happened to be meat. Well, all except seafood. So kind of took on a pescatarian diet. And but up until then, of course, I worked out maybe 4 or 5 times a week. Two of those times, 1 or 2 times a week, was with a personal trainer. His name was Corey Davis. Stick to the code. Consistency, obedience, determination, effort. Shout out to him. Kyra did not win her state pageant the first time, and first try, and neither did Megan. And I'm not saying that to say that I have to constantly compete, but I'm saying that it takes you get something from every step of the way. Every process you learn something, and from what you learn, that's what gets you to your goal. That's what makes you an accomplished person. So it's literally the experiences. Kurt Franklin said it, you cannot skip experiences. So that means failures as well as the wins. Like, you cannot skip those experiences because it makes you who you are. It gets you to where you're going to go. You can't skip it and still feel like you're going to get to the end result that you want, because you're not. So that's just where I'm at with that. I feel, again, proud of myself. I feel, I don't know if there's a word that I can really think of right now to tell you how I feel, but coming home, let me tell you guys, was the most, oh my goodness. So, of course, being on stage and you're listening for the countdown, they're eliminating. And I just remember being on stage and they have this god awful music, like Jeopardy almost. Doo, doo, doo. It wasn't that, but that's how I felt. And it's just like your heart is like racing and you're trying to calm yourself down. And I just kept remember saying, Anderson County, Anderson County, Anderson County, Anderson County. And of course, your heart drops because you don't hear it. So, after a while, the disappointment for me was short lived. Not because I didn't really want it, but because I'm okay. I'm okay with taking a temporary no, a detour. I know that if you don't start, you don't have a story. So this is just the start for me. And that's just where I'm at. So I'm not sad. I am not upset. I am very happy to have competed and been on the stage with such awesome, awesome people. I met some of my Instagram crushes. So I mean, it was just wonderful. I don't have anything negative to say about it. I thought pageants were gonna be a little catty because I did hear some horror stories. I thought they were gonna be a little catty. I heard stories about how they may try to, ruin your dress or just all kind of childish things or petty stuff. But I had a really great experience. All the girls were really nice. If I needed to borrow something, they were willing to let me borrow it. So I had a great experience. And again, this is a testament to the caliber of people that were there. So I have no ill feelings. I am very proud of myself. Very, very, very proud of myself. Again, I think the biggest thing I've taken from it is you have to start. I think his name is Pastor Frederick. Don't get me lying. But anyways, he said, Furtick, I think is his name. Anyways, he was saying, someone asked him about how do you get insecure thoughts out of your mind, or how do you curve those insecure thoughts? And he said usually, he gives them you got to confess what God says about you, these confessions, affirmations, and things. But he said, ultimately, you have to start. You just have to start. The way to build confidence is to do the thing that you think you're not confident to do. That's literally what you have to do. It seems like the opposite of what you would do. That you would have to build yourself build yourself up first, and then go after it. But it's literally go after it, and you'll find that yourself will be built up in the midst of it and going through it. So you have to start in order to have a story, and that's where I'm at. And this is what I wanted to tell you. So when I got back home after pageant weekend, I work at a veterans nursing home, and of course the guys, it's a lot of guys I work with. The residents are mainly men, so they're my guys. And so up into the pageant, of course, they knew I was competing, so they were super proud of me. They were always asking, all right, so when is the pageant? When do you compete? Can I watch it on TV? They were just so inquisitive, and they just wanted to be involved. And so when I got back from the pageant weekend, I think went back to work that Tuesday, and there's this one resident. He brought me a card, and I left it at work. Actually, it's in my office, but he brought me a card that says, "Thank you for serving our country," and I was like, "But thank you, thank you, thank you." But I didn't serve the country, and he was like, "No, you did." And guys, I was like so emotional, and I just started tearing up, and I'm just like, "Thank you," I made a lot of people proud. I made myself proud, but there's other people, whose lives I've touched on accident, just being myself. Just, I think people see the genuineness in you. They know, when you're a genuinely great person. And that's just one of the highlights of my day. As far as competing, coming back after the pageant. Also, I have a mentoring group, Angels Elite Model Troop, and I talked about them the entire weekend of pageants, the entire pageant weekend, told some of the girls about them, and felt like a proud mama. I don't know what this piece of hair is doing, guys. It keeps distracting me. But I felt like a proud mama. Let me get this together. Okay. I felt like, okay. I felt like a proud mother because they were just, oh, Miss Angel, we're so proud of you and you look so beautiful. And I couldn't think of anyone else who deserves this moment more than you. And of course, you know, that has the waterworks starting. And I just felt so encouraged. My friends, guys, look. So they made this, you can't even see it, but it says the inspo from the girls. And every night before a competition or while I was getting my makeup and hair done, I would just read through this. And it just has like literally, it's just a book full of encouragement. So I had so many people behind me that it was just unreal. Like it was really overwhelming as far as the support that I got. That's how I knew I was just in the right thing, doing the right thing at the right moment, because literally for the most part it was stress free, especially the money. Pageants are expensive, or they can be expensive. So getting funds for me was easy. I went out to, it was a blessing, let me say that. It was an easy blessing. And I just went out to my community, went out to businesses, and, you know, pitched them to them who I am, who I'm representing, you know, what my goals were. And literally, they're handing checks over, you know. We hope you do well. Da, da, da. So that's how I know this was just aligned to, you know, at the right moment, at the right time. I was really aligned with the universe or God or however you want to call it. So, again, this is just a great experience. Let me tell you, I teach confidence to my mentoring group, Angels Elite Model Troop, but there's levels to this, and this is what I was talking to some of the girls at the pageant about. There's levels to being confident. I'm confident when I'm on in front of my girls because I've been there at, you know, their stage of life. I know, you know, I feel like I've surpassed that. This stage right here, as far as the pageant, that's something that weighs on me because I have not done that. So my confidence, if I had to compare it, probably would not have been where everyone else's was. Until you do it, until you get out there, you push yourself and you further that level of confidence. Not to where it's cocky or anything like that, but you have to be able to keep pushing yourself and pushing the limits so that you know that there are none. The only limits are what you put on yourself. I could have constantly told myself that I'm not a pageant girl, I am not meant for that, so that would have been my limit. I would have never experienced this freedom. God, that's the word for it. It's a level of freedom that you feel when you do something that you were afraid to do. That doesn't hold you anymore. So nothing can hold you back. Literally nothing. Freedom. Freedom. That is the word for today. Freedom. It's just a level of freedom that you feel. So, guys, I hope I answered all your questions that you may have about pageants. It's just a wonderful experience. It taught me to be confident. It taught me to be motivated, to be someone who brands their self, someone who, let me tell you, so after losing, I am a loser, I'm kidding, but after coming back from the pageant, one of the girls I met there, we're talking, we found out we're from the same area, and I was at the library one day doing some work for my model troupe, and we ran into each other. I had on a t-shirt that had Miss South Carolina or Miss Teen USA, something like that, something we got from the pageant weekend. And she recognized me, and she was with her group of people that she works with, or with special needs. And so they were, she was like, oh, that's Angel, guys, I know her, that's Miss Anderson, Miss Anderson. And y'all, they made me feel like a celebrity. They're like, oh, you're Miss Anderson, can we take a picture with you? And I'm like, yes, I can take a picture with you guys, yes. So it's so humbling just to know, you know, I'm still inspiring people. I did not leave with that crown, but yet I am still doing the job that I was auditioning for, that I was interviewing for. I am still changing lives. I'm still inspiring people. So technically I'm still serving the crown. And I could not be more thankful for this because I feel like a better person because of it. I really feel like I'm a better person because of a lot of people, even my friends of mine were saying, I can tell a difference in you. You're really maturing, you're really changing. And because I felt like I've entered into a new angel almost, I read more than I've ever read before. I was able to form my opinions about a lot of things that's going on because I feel like I was intelligent enough, I was well informed enough to form my own opinions. And to me, that was just a power in itself. So I am now an advocate for pageants, especially at that level. Tallers and tiaras, that's up to you if you want to do that. But at this level where you have to brand yourself, you have to market yourself, you have to be able to respond in to maybe current events or having a educated opinion about things that's going on in your world. So I am an advocate for pageants. I think it teaches self-esteem, self-confidence, all of things that I am an advocate for. And I am absolutely a fan and a advocate for pageants. I think it's a great idea. If you're ever wondering, are pageants for you? I definitely say go for it. Go for it. Would I compete again? I am not opposed to it. I definitely think that is something I would consider and that I am considering competing again. It may not be in the USA system because they do have an age limit, but I am considering competing again. I feel like I still have pageants open doors. This is another thing that I learned from my friend is that pageants open doors to modeling opportunities as well. So if you're interested in the modeling industry, entertainment industry, so that's acting, singing, dancing, if you want to be in kind of communications, broadcaster, anything like that, it opens a lot of doors for that as well. So I am definitely an advocate for it, and I am not opposed to competing. So you may see me on a stage again pretty soon, actually. So I thank you guys for listening to my rant, and I hope listen. I hope that I gave you nuggets and tips for things that you can apply to your life, not just pageants. Again, I leave you with you will never have a story if you never start. So today, start. I love you guys. Guys, I have to tell you something that is very important that I almost forgot. But so in prepping for the pageant, one of the things I did was to write a list of the places that I wanted to go as Miss South Carolina USA. So some places that I would like to visit and make appearances at. So I made a list, the top number 1 to I think about 5 or 7 places, from most important to important. And the first appearance on my list was my high school, Belton Honey Path High School. And I kid you not, so after I come back from the pageant on that Monday, I get a message, and it is from a former teacher that I had at Belton Honey Path, and she asked me to come back to the school and to judge a pageant. And again, I'm such a fan of, or I'm such a believer in that you create your world. Like what you think and what you imagine is your reality. So you create your own reality. So that's why it's so important to write the things down that you want to happen, because literally it's still happening. I did not win the crown of Miss South Carolina USA, but again, I'm still serving the crown, which is ultimately what I wanted to do. And you just have to know that there were just so many blessings. I got so many messages on that Monday from people asking me to come judge their pageant, to come and help teach their girls how to walk, because someone was having a fashion show, and just different arenas come speak at their events. And all of this is like, wow, this is crazy how easy it is to create your own world. I listen to a lot of motivational videos, watched a lot of motivation, because I think the week before the pageant is when, one thing I did do, I did take a break the month before. I did take a month off from social media, and I did that one to focus, but also because I didn't want to get into comparing. I know how comparison can be detrimental to you and how it can weigh on your confidence, and I knew I needed to be in an excellent space. I needed to be 100% focused, 100% confident in who I was, and I didn't want to play that game that sometimes those girls do. So that's one thing I probably did that in as far as preparation. I fasted and from meat, all except seafood, and I went completely off of social media. No Facebook, no Instagram, no Snapchat. The only thing I had was Facebook Messenger, and that's because that's how I got in contact with a lot of my mentoring girls. So, um, other than that, I had no contact with social media. So, it really proved to be very beneficial for me. Also, one of the advice that I got for the prep was, I think it was a week out maybe, and it just said, take this week to just dream big. Dream big. Go to a fancy restaurant. Go, take a trip if you can. And um, my uncle, he probably doesn't even know this, but he invited me to a Christmas party. And the gym he works out at was having a Christmas party. He's on the board, and it was at a house, and oh my God, this is just not an ordinary house. This was like a mini mansion. My God, it was just so beautiful. I am mixing and mingling with businessmen, businesswomen of all colors, all backgrounds, and of course the house was just gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it was gorgeous. And I'm like, you know what? This is what I want, because your mind is visual. You have to get a picture in your mind of what it is that you want, a clear picture, a clear idea. So that's why it's important to do vision boards and write things down. That's why it's important to, really lay out what it is that you want, the life that you want.